Today we are talking about functional interfaces in Java. Functional interfaces are interfaces that have only one abstract method. There is also possibility for functional interfaces to have more than one abstract method, but those methods need to be declared as default methods with a declaration body, and also they can have static methods as well. If we add one more abstract method, we can see that compiler is immediately giving us error that it is not possible to have more than one abstract method. We need to comment out this section, but for these purposes, let's test what happens if we comment out at functional interface annotation. As you can see, the error for the additional abstract method is not here. So it's always advised to add annotation at functional interface just to give information to the compiler that we plan for this interface to be functional. Other name for functional interface is SAM interfaces or single abstract method. As the name suggests, single abstract method, it means that it only has one abstract method. So let's see how can we implement this in a class. So I have created one class named myClass that implements my first interface and overrides this abstract method. So if we go now to the main class and comment out this section, you will see, you will see that I have called this abstract method hello again, and when we run the main class, the output is as follows. So basically we have made a reference to my class from my first interface. Besides these custom functional interfaces, there are also already existing functional interfaces in Java that are widely used. First of them is consumer. It exists in java.util.function package, and as you can see, there is a notation and functional interface. It has one abstract method called accept that accepts one input parameter and doesn't return any output parameter. As you can see, there is also possibility this consumer functional interface has additional default method and then, which provides us the possibility of training more than one consumer interface. So let's see how does that look like in practice. If we comment out this section, okay, and we start the main application, you would see that we have created a consumer reference to the to this lambda expression, and then we have executed two accept method. The first one is for number 4, second one for the number 10, and our consumer accept method does some simple thing, printing that number increased by 5 to the standard output, as you can see the result. So this method accepts one input parameter number and doesn't produce any output parameter. Instead, it prints to the standard output. Okay, I have mentioned there is possibility of training more than one consumer, and I have created second consumer, which also prints string to the standard output. And now I have trained second consumer and then the first consumer, and I have executed the accept method of the functional of the consumer. So let's see how this is. So it's first executed second consumer, or better to say this function, and then it's executed the first consumer or the first function. Okay. Another interface, functional interface that is worth mentioning is a supplier interface. Supplier interface has only one method that doesn't accept any input parameter, but it produces a result. It's a generic interface, so it can be applied to different kind of classes. So if I make a reference to this lambda expression, lambda function, and if I call the get method, it will print hello world, but from here. Okay, let's go to the next functional interface. Talk now about function interface. So Let me show you. So function interface is also a generic functional interface that accepts two generic parameters. One is an input parameter from the of the apply method, and the second one is the output parameter of that apply method. It's mostly used for referencing some functions. So in our example, we have a reference square function that accepts one input value and produces square value of that function. So if we call square function dot apply, so we call this apply function, it will execute this function with the input parameter 10. So let's look how does that look like. Let's see how does that look like. And as you can see, 100. Okay, let's go to the next functional interface is Runnable. Runnable is used for creating thread applications. It has only one run method without any input or output parameters, so it only references the in our example, it references this lambda function that prints to the standard output, and most commonly used is to pass it as a parameter to the constructor of the thread class. If you run this main class, you will see this is the output from the thread. Another important functional interface is Predicate. Predicate is widely used in querying strings, arrays, or database queries, etc. So let's see how does it look like. Predicate. So predicate is also generic functional interface that accepts object of that generic class as an input parameter to the test class and produces boolean result telling whether tested predicate is true or false. In our example, we have made reference to the lambda expression, which checks if the number is even. Then we called the .test method with the input parameter 10 to test if 10 is an even number, and then we print out to the standard output. So let's see how does that look like. And as you can see, the output is like this. If you have enjoyed this video and would like to see more videos like this, don't forget to like, share and subscribe.